everybody, Terri Hardin here, Walt Disney's legendary Imagineer, and welcome to Ask Me Anything. That's where you can post in the comments, or comments, YouTube and Facebook. I'm broadcasting now. You can put a question in there. So if you want to ask about the movies or Disney or Imagineering or Jim Henson or et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But today, I thought I'd talk about the Avengers because everybody has got Avengers-itis. Yes, they do. In fact, my dear friend Robert Anderson of Terry's Tribe on Patreon, and that is a special group of people that get together with me, and I give you a broadcast visit before I do this one every Monday and Friday, and then we also have a Zoom call. So if you want to be a part of the tribe, I'd love you to add your voice to the mix, and you can go here and find out. Full disclosure, it is a subscription of $5 a month or more, but for $60 a month, you get a lot of content and a lot of fun, and we do have a great time. We talk about a lot of stuff privately. You also get a private Facebook page. Of course you do. So anyway, Robert let us know on the Zoom call that he was going to be at Avengers, and we just found out that he is right now on the SpiderMan ride. Right now he's on the SpiderMan ride. So we're looking very forward to that. But are you excited? Are you excited to get and learn about Avengers? So my dear friend Laura, who works at the parks, she sent me a link to a very nice YouTube page, Matt and Alex, it's called. I want to give them a shout out and a thank you because yesterday I kind of watched them and took a few tidbits, but I didn't want to take everything from them because when you watch them, they do a great job of sharing. So I'm going to just touch on this lightly, and then we're going to go to your questions, okay? Because I think it would be nice, just Google Matt and Alex and you'll see Disney or Matt and Alex Avengers, and you will see how absolutely it was very well done. I was intrigued. I was captivated. I was excited. So first of all, they talk about the Avengers, and you may have noticed on my little thumbnail that there was a hatch. They both mentioned that that hatch was your first clue if you were going through California Adventures that Avengers was coming. This was a couple years ago, wasn't it? And you came and you saw that little hatch, and then it was kind of a little secret for all of you who love, for all you Marvelites, which was pretty cool. And that's what he said. He said that's the first thing. So that's why I put that hatch on there, because I never saw the hatch. I don't go to California Adventure that often. When I go to Disneyland, I tend to go to see people, and they're all in Disneyland. This was prior to the pandemic, but so I never saw the actual hatch. But it was nice to see that that was there. I thought that was cool. Guests love a secret. And anytime you can give a guest a secret, this is very good in theme park thinking, okay? But anyway, so I found out there are, so there are 3 ways to enter this new land, which has replaced Bug's Life. Tell you something you don't know. I know you Marvelites already do that. But you can come in through the Buena Vista Street near Carthay Circle. That's like entrance number 1, I would understand, as I'm told. And then entrance number 2 is in front of the Guardians of the Galaxy drop, which I designed it when it was Tower of Terror and never wrote it. But now, of course, for a while, it's been Guardians of the Galaxy. And finally, behind the Rockin' Roadsters and that cone thing is the 3rd entrance, okay? And I don't know if they're different. You tell me if you're going, but 3 ways to enter. It's going to be, if you want to do the SpiderMan ride, and it may be entrances in the park. We weren't sure because all of that news was going to come today, and my friend Richard is going to be kind of sharing with us. But at 7 a.m., just like when you're looking to get tickets to Rise of Resistance. So the way it's happening at Disneyland, and it's only for California residents right now, but that could change, is that at 7 in the morning, if you're going to Disneyland, you can opt in, you can race for Rise of the Resistance boarding pass. And if you're at California Adventure at 7 a.m., you opt in for the SpiderMan boarding pass, okay? Yeah. And then at noon, which is the other time you can opt in to get a boarding pass for either of these. If you're jumping over to Disneyland, you opt in for Rise. And if you're jumping over to Avengers, you opt in for the Avengers Spider-Man ride. Now, the Spider-Man ride, as I understand it, is you're going to be able, I noticed that people were wearing these vision goggles, and I noticed that you can pew, 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 right there and shoot your webs along Spider-Man to get after the evil spider bots. So that sounds kind of cool and interesting. I don't know. One of the things I've asked Richard is, if you are someone who gets motion sick, is this going to be a problem for me? Okay. Because for years I have been going to Walt Disney. Well, let me say that again. For years I've wanted to ride Pandora, but it's been a challenge. And if you've ever been to the Animal Kingdom before the pandemic, it took forever to get on Pandora. And I just visited with friends. But a dear friend of mine took me into there, and we finally decided to ride, just to suck it up and get on Pandora. Well, Pandora would usually make me very motion sick. But because it is, and I don't know how many of you have been in that ride, but you ride that beautiful flying dragon, and you straddle it. You actually are in a saddle type situation, and you can feel the beast breathe. For some reason, I don't get motion sick because I'm on the back of a dragon and I'm flying. And I think it's because I can feel the breathing body underneath me, and I can feel the motion of the beast. So it's tricking my brain in the fact that I'm actually riding a dragon. So because of that, I don't get motion sick. So I'm wondering if the Spider-Man ride may have the same effect. So if you're someone who's going, please post in the comments or message me or something and let me know, if you are a motion sick person, how did it make you feel when you were shooting your webs? Now, the other thing I found out is the merchandise. There is certain things you can buy in the merchandise section at the Avengers campus that enhance your experience on this attraction. Let me say that again. Enhances your experience on the attraction, which means you can do more. Now, you don't have to have these extra items in order to enjoy the Spider-Man attraction ride, but there are things there that you can purchase that help you to do more. What more? You tell me. You tell me what you see. But apparently there's some super web shooters, and there's a couple of other things. Just got a glimpse of those things. But if you're someone who really wants the ultimate experience, apparently, the glasses, the Spider-Man glasses. There's a pair of glasses that look like the eyes of Spider-Man. Those also enhance your experience. Again, don't know how, but these two wonderful people, Matt and Alex, mentioned they enhance your experience. So he said and I agree with that YouTube channel. He said if you had to have those in order to have a good experience, he would have think it was, dollar. It's a way to grab dollars and kind of a snarky. That's kind of not so cool, But he says that the idea of attaching it to the attraction, but not making it mandatory, all right, okay, he gives it to you. I know, you may be one of those persons that just have to have it, and then you may be someone else is like, meh, So, but isn't that interesting? Isn't that clever? To me, that is intriguing. I don't know what the prices would be, et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, you have spider bots the size of a football. I still think they should be smaller, but that's my opinion. Spider bots, and they're decorated like different characters. Of course, there's the Spider-Man one that a lot of people were showing, but apparently there's all different kinds that will be decorated differently. Ant-Man, Wasp, and more coming. More are coming. You will also get to see all your favorite characters there. Apparently, many of them are going to be there, including a few there's one in particular. I'm not going to name who it is. You go find out, or go to this Matt and Alex YouTube channel, and he'll tell you. He'll show you even a picture. But someone coming out in a movie, coming in a new Avengers movie, he will be wandering around there too. So you'll get to see him as well. And isn't that cool? Also, What else can I tell you? Let's see. Oh, yes. Oh, very important. Also on the Spider-Man ride. See, I took notes. I took copious notes. Copious notes. Because I wanted to share this with you today. But there's no height restriction on the Spider-Man ride. Anyone can ride it. So if you are a little kid who loves Spider-Man and has always wanted to shoot webs and save the world with Spider-Man, you can do it. Little kids unite. Woohoo! I think that's kind of cool, actually. So I wanted to make sure to let you know that. And then the other thing they pointed out is you may have seen this video of this giant new robot that the people at Imagineering have been creating, the Stuntronics robot. He can flip, he can spin, he can do all this cool stuff. Apparently, he has been designed specifically for this Marvel campus. And they don't know if he is going to be in a stunt show, which they have. They're going to have a stunt show. And they were not sure if it was launching today, but many thought it was. He could be in that stunt show as well as possible meet and greet. So look for him, and please let me know, the stuff, because that kind of sounds pretty cool. That sounds pretty good. There's also a Doctor Strange magic training. I'm calling it that. That may not be the official title. But like the Jedi Academy, apparently Doctor Strange is going to teach young, what is he, wizard? People in the art of magic. And you'll get to sit and watch that. Now, they don't know, the people that were talking about this yesterday are not sure. If it's all indoors, you may not get a lot of that. But if it can be, any of it can be outdoors, they will do it. They will work that. So let me know if you go, because I'm not going for a while. I want you all to go first. So that could be cool. And then of course there's the PIM, which is my favorite. Okay, the PIM thing. I'm so excited about it. I can't even tell you. So I found out that $100 sandwich is called, let's see what it's called. I wrote down what it's called. You all probably know what it's called. But it's a panini. It's like the giant panini. And panini. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. It's so huge. It's a giant that it feeds a family. It's $100. And apparently people are standing in line to get it. So go Disney. And then, of course, phase 2, they're going to bring you an adventure with that giant ship that's on top. Forgive me that I don't know all the names. I'm not a Marvelite. I didn't even know if I would go. But I have to go to PIM because I just want to see the food. Apparently, giant pretzel that you could, look through. And the not-so-little chicken sandwich. They have a lot of really awesome breakfast items. Looks very, very impressive. There's also a laboratory on the outside that fixes mixed drinks and beers of certain stuff, and they fill from the bottom. There's a lot of clever show there. And for those of you who are Marvelites, and my husband said this was pretty cool, and I was kind of like, okay, was the Shawarma Palace, where you can get your shawarma. So you remember the scene at the end of one of the Avengers movies where they were all having shawarma. They have not forgotten at the campus. Shawarma can be yours at the Shawarma Palace. So there's a few things. I just touched on that because I thought that you deserved it. Just a few little drops in the buckets if you're going, to make you get excited to go. But if you do go, when you do go, please share it with us and let us know what you thought. I will be going later. Here's the thing. It's really good to go as early as possible. I say this all the time, but with the exception of the pandemic, and here's why. The pandemic has had to restrict a few things. Because of the pandemic, Disney has had to come up with ideas on how to open it during a time when we are now coming back, but it's not going to be full on, okay? Usually I say jump in and see it as quickly as you can, because once it hits a park, once an attraction hits a park, it becomes part of the park. So the sooner you go, the sooner you're going to see what an Imagineer had in their mind before it changes. Example is Indiana Jones. When Indiana Jones started, it was a rockin' ride. It was amazing. But now, as you know, it's a shell of itself. The ride is still fabulous, but the queue to the ride, which right now you're not even experiencing because of the pandemic, is pretty much barely there. So that's why I'm saying go as soon as you can, so you can see it, and then you can come later and see how things change. So we even used Galaxy's Edge as an example. And Galaxy's Edge, there's already things changing, because originally it was going to make you be completely immersive on Betu, and people were going to be talking Bedouin to you, but people complained they didn't like people not talking to them in English. And so Disney stopped doing that, told their cast members to stop unless there was someone who was interested in the interaction. Then you can interact. Otherwise, if they ask you a question, answer in English. So that's, the way it is. And that's a shame. Okay. But there are still, if you want to go and you want to interact, all you have to do is say, where did you spend time off planet? And they know that's a cue to cast members that they can play that immersive. So it's still there, but there has been a change. Okay. Just so you know. Also, Avengers mentions that Avengers Campus does not have its feet completely grounded in the films. And it's allowed itself some flexibility because they're looking at Galaxy's Edge. And because those movies didn't do so well, Galaxy's Edge is kind of having a little bit of a challenge in certain areas. Okay. So they didn't want that challenge to happen at Avengers. So they're working with that. We'll see how both of them start to happen. But this is what an Imagineer goes through. Your mind is constantly saying, okay, this is working, this isn't working, what are we going to do? Disneyland will say, that can happen, okay? So for example, in Galaxy's Edge, there's a lot of walkthrough. Not right now because of the pandemic, but usually there is. There is a ride, walk, ride, okay? I don't think I'm spoiling anything if you haven't been on it. But Disneyland could at any time feel that the queuing is taking too long and eliminate some of those areas. It has been done. It can be done. It's very possible. So get there as quickly as you can so that if it changes, you can see both sides of the coin, if you will. Just an Imagineer's insight for you. All right. Okay. Let's go to your questions, your comments, etc., etc. Great to have you today. If you're just joining us, this is the AMA. It always goes a little longer. Of course, mine are always going long during the pandemic now. You'll notice these broadcasts for a while. Don't feel bad if you need to pop out because you have a life or because you have something to do because it's the weekend coming up, or you're going to see Avengers. I will not be sad. Okay. I'm grateful that you joined me today. Please subscribe if you would like to have more craziness. And, I also wanted you to know I'm getting better, a little bit better with YouTube, and I'm going to be starting to post more behind the scenes stuff that I'm doing, upcoming pieces that I'm doing, and things like that. But it's going to take some time because me and these platforms are not my normal. So every day I'm learning something new thanks to all of you who it is your normal. Yeah. So my birthday is coming up in June and I'll be 64. So there you go. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. Who's here today? Hello, Michael Roman, and good morning again. Did you hear about the irritated Cruella? I did not, Leo. What happened to the irritated Cruella? I just heard people love this movie. So tell me more. Inquiring minds want to know. Yes. Oh, did you hear about the Cruella? I still am not quite sure. I heard the movie was very much loved. Is there something I don't know? Please share. Hello. Let's see. Went to Avengers with our grown kids. It was nice but small. I think the ride was good but short. Yes. And here's the question, Rose Berdine. Thank you for sharing. It could be short because there is a restriction on how long you can have people enclosed in an area. I don't know if you knew that, but yeah. So when I was at an early viewing of Disneyland before it opened to the public, we were in line for the Millennium Falcon. And you are social distancing outside. But then as soon as you get to all that interior stuff, you like sprint. You're not running, but you're not stopping either. You're not passing go. You're not collecting $200. You're going directly to the ship and you are going into your seats and they are closing it up and you are in the experience and then you're out. Like, because inside an enclosed area, theme parks have restrictions. So is it short? I'm not saying I agree with you, short is short, but we have to ask, and I don't know the answer, Rose. I really don't. Is it short because of the pandemic or is it truly short? Would they make it longer? You know, like Buzz Lightyear. Buzz Lightyear takes some time, but with that restriction, see what I mean? Exactly. Thank you for saying that, though. I'm excited to see it. Hello, Deanna. Yes, I know. You went before it opened with your family, which was great. Love Tower and Galaxy. Yes. It was a sad day, Deanna, when Tower of the Terror changed because we lost the beautiful voice of Mark Silverman when he was announcing, he was, Rod Serling. It was very nice. But I designed that ride and knew that the bottom fell out. And one of the things I really don't do well is fall. This, whoop, not good. So I knew when I was designing it with the team, and I did very little, but I did have a hand in it when it first was put into California Adventure. I had a little tiny part of it, and I knew not to be a part of it. But when it was Twilight Zone, I sure loved doing the queue. So I would walk the queue and look at all the Twilight Zone stuff and talk to people about the Twilight Zone stuff that was in there because I'm a big fan of that show. And then I would take the chicken exit while others rode the ride. Yeah, love those chicken exits. I do the same with Harry Potter on Universal. Rode it one time, can't do it again. And it's rougher here at Universal than it is in Florida, so bear that in mind. Yeah, a little rougher, more morning sickness ability. Yeah, I got some people who don't usually get it. So chicken eggs, it works. You sit there and shop while the other people do whatever they do. On behalf of today, I tried to scale my bedroom wall. It didn't work. Oh, you're cute. You need to go first to Avengers, buy the web shooters, and try again, Tracy. Okay? Yes, they are available for you. Okay. Did you hear about the Cruella costumer upset that her designs are being used for toys, dolls, and... Oh. Now I know what you're saying, Leo. There's a point to be had here, okay? This comment right here is a very important comment that Leo is saying. Costumer designs costumes for Disney, all right? She belongs to a costuming union. Yes, she does. And I would imagine, I'm assuming because there is a costumers union, so she probably belongs to the union. But here's the challenge that you have. When you're an artist and you're designing this stuff, you need to balance, understand that if it's not in your contract, it's not going to happen. Okay? So I feel for her. Oh, my heart goes out to her. Because when I was designing stuff for Disney, I thought it would be great. See, I've been here, costumer. I've been here. I did a lot of pieces that were sold at Disneyland for a while. And I used to make suggestions. I used to do pick one of three. Well, what Disney did is they looked at all three and then they did some that were my concepts, but gave them to someone else to do. So in other words, they didn't hire me to do my concepts. They hired someone else to do what were originally my concepts. Why? Because Disney feels it's their property. I am doing concepts of their stuff. And here she's doing concepts for their Cruella. So they feel they paid her for the costumes. She got to do them. She was chosen. But now, as far as dolls, toys, etc., it would be great if they would turn to her and say, how about you scale them down, which she would have loved to do, as I would have loved to do. All of the stuff that you have seen from Haunted Mansion that is for your home originally came from my original art. I can say that because I know that. I talked to you and I said years ago, what do you want? And you all said, I'd love Haunted Mansion stuff for my home. And I originally designed the bat candlestick for regular candlesticks. And then the next thing you know, everything's coming out, but I'm not being touched. What did I learn? To do what Disney asked for, nothing more. In the case of this costumer, she's got a very tough decision. Because if she tries to get rights to do those costumes or to get paid for those costumes, Disney could very most likely pick someone else. And so you have to kind of, yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame you have to do that. But there's so many people out there that would kill to have the opportunity to design these. And these costumes are phenomenal. I think that's one of the reasons I'm so excited to, my husband is getting it for me for my birthday. We're going to pay the premiere price, and I'm excited because I want to see it. But I mainly want to see it for the costumes. And plus, my tribe says it's a great movie. And that makes me feel better because I really don't want to watch another live action cruddy movie. So, but it looked really good in the previews. And then I asked my tribe who saw it, how did they like it? I even asked my good friend and tribe member, Holly McKenzie, how long her children stuck with it before they went and did something else. And they are young little kids. They stayed for 1 hour before they walked away. And I think the movie is like 2 hours. So that's good for little kids. So I think that's a really good endorsement. So I am going to go and do that. But I feel for her. I know, Lord knows, I know her pain. I know her pain. In fact, the real knife that I got was I did Tinkerbell tiptoeing across the map. I did my version. And then the piece was given to Lennox, that company, and they did their version. If I remember, I will show you the two and you'll see what I mean. But they never asked me to do it. I would have been happy to do one for Lennox as well. But Disney, it's their characters. They feel we can do what we want. And in many cases, they are absolutely correct. So my heart goes out to you. I feel your pain. And now, as you move forward, you'll have to kind of work of, can you rein that in? Is there a way that you can change that? We don't know, because there's so many people out there that are willing to say, you don't have to do that for me. I'll give it. You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Thank you for that, Leo. Oh, that's a shame. Hello, Angie. I bet you could scale the floor. Well, you could. You've seen those commercials where people use blankets and pillows to do all those fun little stop motion things that they do. You know, the thing that's a problem, though, is I don't remember the commercial. I just remember how pretty the art is. My husband always says, if you can't remember the commercial, how good is it? You know, because you can't remember the product in the commercial, but you remember the art, which I love. Now, that in contrast is that Brawny commercial. Pretty sure it's Brawny, so I'm only 50%, where you've got everybody going, no, no, no. Most of those are pretty boring. But there's one that's just great. And every time I see it, I got to stop and I laugh. And that's no, no, no. And at the end, there's a bulldog going, yes. You know this commercial? It's a Brawny. I'm pretty sure it's Brawny. Really funny commercial. So the key to doing advertising is to be a great commercial and have you remember the product it is advertising. So the art of that is all done on the floor. So Tracy, you're onto something there. You really are. So I'm looking forward to hear what more you plan to do with that. I get motion sickness, but the ride was okay for me, says Rose. Got a big score, which surprised me. Okay, so yes, I understand that this Spider-Man attraction, you rack up points like in the, what do they call it? Toy Story Mania and Buzz Lightyear. So you get points. Congratulations, Rose Burdine. My challenge is I like looking at all of the pretty art and forget to shoot the thing. So luckily, with this being Spider-Man and him saying, get him, that if I was doing it, at least I would know to get him, I'd be coached. I found out that in the Millennium Falcon ride, I can't be a pilot. It makes me sick as a dog. But I love being a gunner. I think being a gunner is the most fun. I was also, navigator or something? But being a gunner is the most fun ever. I had more fun being a gunner. So if we, when the pandemic disappears and we can kind of do things, who knows what normal is really going to be. If we get to do things the way we did before, if I ever draw a pilot card, you will get it if you're with me, because I don't want to be a pilot. I will trade you for being a gunner because I loved being a gunner. That was the most fun ever. When I was a navigator, I thought, it's okay. Me. The most fun was sitting at the chess set and getting my picture at the chess set table. That's what I really loved, and the interior show of it. But now I would ride that ride every time I go there if I could be the gunner. So I love that. So web shooter will be great as long as I'm prompted. Otherwise, I'd be like, ooh, wow, look, that's pretty. Terry, shoot. Oh yeah, shoot. So there you go. But thank you for that, Rose. I think if you're involved, it could work, right? I've become very close friends with my floors recently. I fell again this past weekend. Instead of putting on Spidey blue and red colors, mine are black and blue. Oh, well, I hope you're okay, Tracy. We don't want you to be falling. But if you decide to do, like cloth angels or something, that's different. But I hope you're okay and that you heal quickly. Yeah. I was a little drunk on Tuesday and Wednesday because I had a colonoscopy Tuesday morning, and the anesthesiologist gave me a killer cocktail, and I was having trouble. He said, you're probably going to just sleep. And Tuesday I slept the whole day. That's because I don't sleep much anyway. I've mentioned before, I'm pretty busy. I'm running around doing this and that and that and this, always trying to fill my day. But after a colonoscopy, you don't really have choice. And I also may have mentioned that I was super brilliant because my appointment for a colonoscopy, and those of you who've had one understand what I'm saying, you can't eat anything solid on the day before. And if you do the calendar, the day before was Memorial Day. So chalk it up to brilliance for Terry. But oh well, right? Oh well. Have your recent art classes made you a sculptor? Are you looking at designing using box and block tools you're now using to sculpt? Art classes haven't. I think you mean a better sculptor. Kind of. The thing that made me a better sculptor, and I'm a really good one. Oh, how humble are you, Terry? But one of the things that really helped was my facial reconstruction class. So the class I took at the Forensic Institute in Texas, San Mateo, I think, or San Marco, I think it's called. I always get it mixed up, but it's just outside of Austin, Texas. And you sit there and you learn how to facially reconstruct based from a skull. So let me see if I can grab that up for you. Hello, come on. There you go. Thank you. Let me see if I can find it here for you, and I will show you what I mean. But the facial reconstruction really helped me because I'm always doing faces in my characters. And the more you know about the bony understructure, the better your art will be. I mean, in painting, this is important too, right? But what I'm pointing out is in sculpture, it's more like, if you know it in painting, it's very important. But since I am primarily a sculptor, painting is all new to me, because making something three-dimensional in a two-dimensional space is a challenge. And that's what I'm working on doing, is getting to be able to do that in a better way. So let me see if I can find my facial reconstruction class that I can just, here we go. So this class right here is the class that, and I'm going to just hide this comment from Leo for a moment. This class, and I put the book in front, done by Karen T. Taylor. That is my instructor. And you're going to do here, we're doing the muscle structure on the skull first. This is always nice to have this refresher course. But then we do a skull where we put the depth gauges of the skin. And then here it is, a better picture. We set the eyes. You can see in the background, my teacher is showing us on an overhead. Then we start to apply layers of clay like this, and we start to construct the face. This is forensic facial reconstruction. This is facial reconstruction. Sorry, I should do it like this. But the thing that makes this so special is that there are, and here you can see the face coming to life. That helped me to just be more aware that how your teeth are in your mouth and how they're set changes your lips, and whether you have an overbite or an underbite. That class is what really helped me in sculpting, changed the way I do sculpting so much. And I actually came home and practiced on a couple other skulls, trying to create faces based on the structure of that, based on her class. So it's a great class. I want to take it again as soon as she offers it. It could probably be done on a Zoom, but I loved being with the people I was with. There were forensic anthropologists, forensic dentists, forensic police officers, a lot of people in forensics, one other artist than me. But, and forgive me, I've had no breakfast. I know you don't tune in to watch me chew, so forgive me. Yeah, that class helped. Painting, my sculpting is helping me in painting. So I try to feel with my hands and my eyes, making something dimensional. How would I sculpt it dimensionally? How would I paint it dimensionally? And does that matter to me? Okay, do I want it dimensionally, or do I want it more like some of these posters don't do that? They'll do, a different kind of color mapping. I did an illustration for a book. Well, I did a couple illustrations. Here's an illustration of my dragon, where I just did sort of fun. See, I could paint something like this, where you're playing with color and you're not necessarily blending. You're just applying color so that the colors kind of create a dimension to it. What I think works in this piece is, like, the neck is sort of dimensional, but I think it could use a little bit more. But the face is very, like, the mouth looks very dimensional to me, and the nose and going up into the forehead. But this was done digitally on an iPad. And so that allowed me to sort of paint in sort of a pop art kind of way. Don't you think it's kind of like pop art? Yeah, that's what it made me think of. It made me think of kind of pop art. But that's my dragon from Dragon's Lair. I just thought it would be kind of fun to do that piece like that and do it dimensionally and not necessarily blend colors. Do I think I want to paint that way, kind of in a comic, kind of in a animation comic strippy kind of way? For some things, maybe, but for others, maybe not. I did a book cover. I wonder if it's in here. I don't know if it is. Let me see if it's, I have album that has, I didn't know if I had here's commissions. Let's see if it's in here. No. Cosplay. Starling Watch. No, it's not in there. I was hoping it was in Starling Watch, but it's not. But I'll show you that book at some point, because I did do a book cover for one of my clients, and it's kind of between and betwixt that sort of art style. So I have been playing with that sort of thing digitally, but I'm still searching. If you talk to anyone who sculpts or paints, they're going to tell you it doesn't happen overnight. You just don't wake up a painter. For those of you who do, you good for you. But I realized I had an ability with sculpture, but I still had to train and practice, and I do every day and try to do as much as I can. I'm just seeing if this picture is in here, because I thought I did take a picture of the book cover, but maybe I did not. The thing that's interesting about doing the colors like that and doing them digitally is it works for pins. So here is my Big Al pin, because I played that bear. So here he is here, and I did my ideas of the colors, and then my friend Joshua fine-tuned it. So it all has its place and its purpose. But now I'm looking for what to Terry is a painting. What truly is a painting? But no, the painting has benefited from my sculpture more than the other way around. Rose says, yes, you can buy the things to get a bigger score, but you need to learn how to use them before you get on the ride, or else they won't help you. Indeed. My daughter and granddaughter both bought the one that you put on your arm. Exactly. Rose, do you remember what the price point was for that? I was curious on how much that cost to purchase something, because they have them where you put them on your arm. And like I said, for me, I won't be getting something like that because high scores are just not my jam. But I can't play video games because of motion sickness. So I have a couple video games that I love, and one in particular that I really love called Monument Valley. I was introduced to that while watching House of Cards. I love it. It doesn't have no time clock. You don't have to race against time. No monsters come out and grab you, and there's not a lot of motion. It's just a fun, sweet, beautiful game, Monument Valley. And let me see. I don't know if I have Monument Valley on here, but I should. Oh, yes, I do. Here. Let me just, it's actually, it did it sideways for me. Okay. So I'm trying to see if I can show you the, I'm trying to see if I can show you the opening of it, but I don't know if I can. Let me just get out of there. Okay. Weep. Let's see. Nope. Weep. Forgive me as I try to make my things work. Okay. So, I can't make it bigger. Trying to figure out how to show you this. Anyway, it's Monument Valley, and this is the opening to the game. It has different levels you can do. Let's see if I can make it spin. So 2, 3, you pick it and it opens. So here's level 1. If I touch it, it takes you to it. It involves, you see how it's got this puzzle with this cute little girl, and you have to figure out by turning these little wheel things here, how you can get her from where she's standing to the target area. Okay. And it says, tap the path to move Ida. So anyway, this right here, I'm trying to make it go away. It doesn't want to right now, but that's okay. Anyway, that is a really great game. It's a more of a puzzle game. It's more on perspective. It has 2, Monument Valley 1, Monument Valley 2, and they are amazing. They are just a lovely little game. It's a pretty game. It's a beautiful game, and it doesn't make you motion sick, but that is my level of game, period. So if you're one of those people who are really into those games, you rock it, baby, because my son does the same. He's really good. He used to play video games and then say, Terry, come, when he stopped to fight. But I cannot watch them. I just can't. Okay. I saw the Stunt Show. It's 99% human Spidey, only a second of the animatronic flip. Oh, but it's there, eh? Ooh. I have never been a fan of theme park stunt shows. My family loved them. Just not my thing. I know. It's like when you went to Universal, if you've been to Universal, and watched the Cowboy Shoot 'em Up show. Me. But they say, Tracy, that more and more and more, you will see that flip robot do more. So stay tuned if it's your thing. Have you ever tried carving Constance Hathaway, the Haunted Mansion bride? I have not. I have not done the bride. One of the things that I love about the bride is what I think would be fun. Well, I'll tell you guys later. But there's a couple ideas I have for her that I think would be really cool. And join the tribe if you want to know specifically, because I'd rather keep them private right now. But it's because of my, the illuminating ghosts I would talk about and say I'm going to make them illuminate, but that's all I would say because I really didn't know how. That's the same with this. I have an idea about the bride. A lot of people love this bride, but there's something that I would love to there's something that I would love to do with her, and I should really bounce it off of my tribe on Patreon and see if they like it. And then if they like it, maybe we'll bounce it off of you. But I like to get clever every so often with pieces. My illuminating ghosts are ghosts that I have to say, they're clever, but they're also, as I've said before, a lot of work. And there they are again, for those of you who, these actually illuminate like little ghosts. And one of my collectors, Michael Roman, actually got his last, this month, I think. He got his, and he said that not only are they pretty and wonderful illuminated themselves, but they actually give a ghostly appearance to the rest of his Haunted Mansion ghost collection. So he showed me some pictures and they really are fabulous. And so these have over-delivered, and I'm happy about that because they are an investment. There's only 10 sets left and then I'm done. But the problem is I don't see myself doing any more of these like this for a while because I don't like losing that power. I don't do electronics. So the manufacturer does the electronics. So if he falls behind, if they fall behind, I'm at the mercy of that. And that's what's happening. And I'm not real good with that. Okay. I know I need to do that. I don't mind delegating, but I like things to get to you when I say they're going to get to you. So it's not his fault. It's pandemic. It's all kinds of stuff like that. And all of you have been understanding, you adoptive parents that are still waiting for your ghosts. You've been amazing. But it makes me think that I don't want to do this after another because I don't want to constantly be late. So the next thing I'm going to do is either Figment or Cheshire Cat. But the bride is a great suggestion, Shelby. And I wrote your name next to it because should I do it, you get the right to have the first one to purchase bride number 1 should I make her. So I will keep you posted on that. I'll tell you right now, she will not illuminate. No. I don't know what she'll look like, but I won't be making her illuminate. Too bad too, because the illuminating really looks good. As you can tell, it really looks good. Wouldn't she be pretty in that? Don't even get me started. But thank you, sweetheart. Thank you very much. Hi, Terry, off to work. I'll catch up later. Have a great week. And you too, Ava. Thank you for joining me. Yes, when my pudgy fingers screw up. Yeah, no, I know. And it's cool. It's cool. I just have to figure out what you were saying. And I'm more than happy to, oh, good. Forgive me. Okay. Awesome. Okay. All right. Forgive me. I just had a message come by for me that because I'm with the Screen Actors Guild, there is a screening via virtual screening and a Q&A with someone I really like a lot, which is Cranston from Breaking Bad. I just love his work. He's amazing. I told you, I think I mentioned before, I love him in Trumbo. Well, he's in a new series on Showtime called Your Honor. And on Sunday, he's doing a Q&A for Screen Actors Guild members. And so I signed up, but that's the good thing about these virtual ones is that they can have as many people as they want come to them. And that's really exciting because a lot of times someone like Cranston or a Clint Eastwood or, these big names, they'd fill up right away and you'd have a hard time getting in to hear them speak. So it's very exciting that I got in, but I knew I would because Zoom has a lot. And some of these Zoom are okay because some of these Zooms work and they don't because the person interviews them, asks the questions, but you don't get to ask questions. So that's a downside. But you're always in a seat where you can see him and you're always in a seat where you can hear them. And I love that. One of my favorite ones was for the women that were up for an Academy Award and the woman who was with Billie Holiday versus the state of whatever. That actress, it was one of her first roles she's done and first major roles. And she spoke with seasoned actresses that told her that most of the time you always have butterflies and that butterflies are a good thing. And to just, hopefully other actors have your back and trust and you work together and you have a good time. And she did a great job. So anyway, that was cool. But yes, Leo, I feel you for that. Holly's in the house. I heard that if you work on a Disney movie, you sign away all rights to merchandising. Is that true? That can be. Oh yeah. I don't get... So Big Al, let's use the Country Bear as an example. We did not get paid for the merchandising of Big Al. No, we didn't. But what did we get? Let's talk about what we did get to do. I got to yodel, and it wasn't in the original film. I got to sing Blood on the Saddle, which was also not in the original film. I have no idea why. Again, they didn't talk to you about it in Country Bears, the movie. But there were a lot of perks that I did get. I did get a CD sent to me with Bonnie Raitt and Don Henley singing the duet between Trixie and Tennessee. I still have that autographed by them. So there's some stuff. See, if you work, if you know Disney is like, the other thing that Disney, Holly, doesn't do a lot of times is if you're a puppeteer, they don't let you do the voice of the character. Because they want, get this, real voiceover artists. Didn't matter that I was the voice of San Diego for 3 years before I did that movie. They didn't care. You're a puppeteer, you can't do voices. So silly. But that's the way Disney works. They want to have a professional voiceover artist. And you sit there and you go, what am I, chopped liver? But now that being said, had I been chosen for my voice, I could have only done Trixie because she was the only female out of 6 characters. And I got the bonus and got to play Big Al and Trixie. So because I wasn't doing the voice, I got to play both characters. The weird thing was, if you listen to the Trixie on the Country Bears, They asked the actress to sound like me. True story. Yeah. Yeah. People thought it was me. She did a very good job. That's because she's a professional voiceover artist. And so am I. But it's kind of weird. I would have had to have gone in and auditioned as a voiceover artist and then also puppeteer. Just because I was a puppeteer and I did a great voice doesn't necessarily mean, you see? Now, when I do the Foster Farms commercials, I was working with Drew Massey and I told him we had 7 days to lock in the voices of the chickens. And he to this day, he does the voice of the chicken. It's a beautiful voice. He does voices. It's just a silly, it's a silly thing. Like all women sew and all men know how to use a chainsaw. Silly notion. Many men sew very well and many women know how to operate a chainsaw. And as a woman, I operate a mean chainsaw. But I tended to assume that men did know how to do it, and a guy nearly cut his hand off, so I had to teach him how to use the chainsaw. So don't buy into the stereotypes of what men and women do, because it's all a watercolor set. It all blends together. So a voice, people should realize that puppeteers make puppet characters so they do voices. You know what I mean? Just because we do puppets doesn't mean we can't do voices. But you gotta convince them, don't you? Because otherwise, they just sit there and they say to you, you don't do voices. Even though you did a talking jello mold for Philadelphia cream cheese and made a lot of money with your voice, they don't care. You got a huge voiceover resume. Wah. But you just water off a duck. And then you try again and you try again. Lots of rejection in the entertainment industry. It's kind of the way it works, but you just keep swinging if that's what you want to do. Yeah. But that is true, Holly. Absolutely true. We don't, here's the thing about a movie. You do get residuals because you are union. Okay, I'm with the Screen Actors Guild. I've mentioned this before. So Disney does have to pay residuals to the actors and puppeteers who do the movie. So that is because we belong to a union. Okay, otherwise, if it was non-union, you could very well be the victim of what's called a buyout, which means they pay you a little extra money to buy out your rights to compensation or residuals, as they're called, and done. But Disney can't do that. They cannot do non-union. It can't, They'd get in trouble. I love the new movie Cruella. My kids watched it 10 times. How old are your kids, May? Tell me about your kids if they watched it 10 times. And this is why I get it, because Holly Mack and Michael Roman both told me that I get to keep it, which I didn't realize I got to keep it. I thought it was $30 one and done. So that really does, because I will be watching it several times just for the costumes alone. Hi, Terry, it's Bella and Grandma. Hi, Bella and Grandma. We have had the beautiful thing on Terry's Tribe of having visitations from Bella and Grandma. And Bella is from the UK, and she brings us jokes of the week that she has been collecting. So she's 9 years old, and it's been a real joy to have her tell us jokes. And I'm great. I'm so happy to see you here, but also very exciting. Yeah, what fun to have her on our calls. So we love her on our Zoom calls. So again, go to patreon.com/Terri Hardin. And if you want to add your voice to the mix, we'd love to have you. It's a lot of fun. The Imagineering, let's see. Grim Grinning Tasty says, the Imagineering with the Spider-Man animatronic is incredible. Look forward to seeing what else they will be doing with him. I know. But what was that? I can't remember the singer, but y'all will, because you guys really know Disney very, very well. Joe Cocker, I think it was, years ago. Now I'm going back. Remember, I'm almost 64. I'm going back, but Joe Cocker, and if you did a tour of Imagineering, that animatronic started to really move. And it was just before Epcot introduced the Hall of Presidents. Is it called the Hall of Presidents, guys? Presidents of the Americas. Anyway, at the back of Epcot. And we watched animatronic characters go up and down stairs. Phenomenal. So they're always striving to do better and better and better. And then, of course, you have heard, of course, of the little baby Groot that moves around and interacts. And that's coming soon to the campus as well. They don't know when soon, being, we're still working. But here's a little preview of him. And they both, oh, how exciting, huh? Really, really exciting. I look forward to seeing that. People that do electronics just excite the heck out of me. It's something that I just don't have the attention span for. I'd much rather be sculpting. Seriously, I would. So I hire painters to paint my work because I'd rather be sculpting. And now I'm doing a painting, and it could be I'd rather be painting a painting or sculpting. But I delegate often a lot of stuff when I can. The pandemic, of course, has made that a little more challenging. Indeed. Oh, look, I love you guys too. Kisses to you guys as well. And Angie says, I've been off all week and I blame my missing you on Monday. No. You did not miss me on Monday. Monday, I did not broadcast. And the reason I did not broadcast on Monday was because, as I mentioned earlier, Tuesday, I had a colonoscopy. I was so wonky. I ate pretty good on Sunday, but then Monday I had to have chicken broth, clear liquids, nothing purple or red. But I couldn't have any solid food. And I became very lightheaded. I tried to drink a lot of chicken broth, but you can only drink so much. And then that night, Monday night, I had to start my procedure, which if you've ever gone through it or you're too young to go through it, you're going to need to do this at some point in your life to catch stuff early. It's very important. Colonoscopies are essential. They are. But the process is worse than the procedure, and they cannot seem to make that process taste good. So it's really a challenge. And you do that in the evening. And then, yay for me, Tuesday morning at 3 a.m., I had to get up and do it again. So I was wonky all day Monday and said I wasn't going to broadcast, because you would have seen someone who looked high or out of it, just, because there wasn't any food, really. There wasn't food. Tuesday was even weirder. I got up at 3 in the morning, no problem. Did the procedure and then timed, because I take a medication for blood pressure. It's pretty well regulated, but it runs in my family. So being almost 64, it is a medication that I take. And I took that with a sip of water, and then I did the time, because I knew it was going to be important to my nurses as to when was the absolute last time water went into my mouth. And I told them that it went into my mouth at 5:40 in the morning. And that was the last time I had it, is to take my blood pressure medicine. And they were surprised, because I said 3 o'clock to 3:30, did procedure, did it in a half hour, because I thought you guys needed it to be done. And then at 5:40, I took my medication with just a swallow of water. Very challenging, because I always drink a big glass of water after my supplements. I had stopped all my supplements, my multivitamin, everything, right? And just to be ready for this colonoscopy. And then if I can give you guys another piece of advice, I know it's at the end of our video instead of at the beginning, but if I can give you another piece of advice, opt for an anesthesiologist, because the anesthesiologist's sole job is to watch your vitals, so you are safe. And then your doctor can do the colonoscopy, which also keeps you safe. So if you've heard a lot of these scary stories, which I am not going to tell you, one of the ways you can avoid these scary stories is to let your doctor do his job, not try to watch your vitals and do his job. I think that's where you get into trouble. Hire an anesthesiologist if you can. I understand maybe your finances don't allow it, but if they do, don't mess with your health. That's me speaking serious. Super, super important. But that's why I was woozy. So Angie, it's not your fault. I was not around on Monday at all. In fact, Sunday, I was so out of it, I forgot to post the announcement that I wasn't going to be on Monday, because I was just, So I knew that was going to happen. I thought I'd be able to work. I thought I'd be able to do something. I did get to work on a particular, I'm taking a couple classes. I'm working on my drawing. So I'm working to improve my drawing. I love learning. And I think learning is living. I think if you can't learn, that can be death for you, because learning is growth, and growth is lovely, and growth makes you feel alive. So do yourself a favor. I'm going to start teaching some classes myself, and they're going to be super fun, but I'm working on how I'm going to film them, because I want them to be a class you can take at your own pace. So I won't be doing them live. If I do a live course, I will announce that, and hopefully it can be in person where I'm at your side and we're doing it, because I do these retreats. Janny, who popped in earlier, is an amazing painter. She came and was at one of my retreats where I only take 10 people, and it's all about you, what you want to do as an artist, or what you want to do. It can be anything, whatever you're thinking of doing. I just help you with it. And then you have 9 other people to help you with it too, that are very creative. And it's a lot of fun. And it actually helped Janny to explode. She absolutely blew the doors off of her. She was a little stagnant, she told me, and she just blew the doors off of her work, and now she's rocking it, man. Every time I turn around, she's doing something new and amazing. So I'm happy to have had a hand in that. And so that would be that. But what I'm trying to say is I will start to post and share with you, or tell you where you can go for these classes. I'll have a few that teach you a little bit on YouTube for free. And then if you want to go delve deeper, there will be a fee. But all up to you, okay? Yay! But that's my goal. That's a big goal with me. So you didn't miss me, Angie. We just didn't get to meet there. I know, but I missed you. Yes, I know. I missed you too. I missed you too. And look at this. Are there any more questions? Because we are done. And look, we did an amazing record today. We kept it at just over 1 hour. That is amazing. Now, we had a few questions, but understand that we end when the questions end. And also, we are getting back into life, aren't we? The weather is getting better. People are being better. Well, not everybody, but we are. And we're getting back to life. And so this would normally get shorter and shorter and shorter. But I want to thank you for joining me today. I want to thank you for being a part of this today. I want to wish you a lovely weekend. Monday, we are going to announce, I know you've been waiting for it, the Dinosaur Storyteller winners. If you want to get your story in, do it this weekend. But don't panic, because I had a handful, I think, of, I had a few stories come in. So those stories I looked at, and then I will give some awards out and kind of just let you know who won. Okay. I know you've been waiting for the dinosaur bling. So Monday I'll show you, and then I will hopefully announce the winners on Monday, or maybe I'll wait till Friday, show you the stuff Monday, wait till Friday. We'll see. But one or the other, join me Monday to figure it out, because right now I'm not sure I can figure it out. Okay. All right. And hang in there, because just be careful. Don't buy into their nastiness, Angie. Because I've seen some people get into some real bad situations, and I just don't want it to happen to anyone I care about. Hello, Richard Barnes, and you're welcome. I love you guys so much. Have a great weekend. Hugs and loves, Deanna. You know it. Love to your fur babies. Kisses. Do something nice for someone else. It'll make you feel so much better. So if you're feeling depressed, think of a nice thing you can do for someone. It can be as simple as a phone call, or buy a cup of coffee for that person behind you in line and say, surprise. Dozen donuts works too. Take care, everybody. I love you. We'll see you Monday.